to reinvent herself as a powerful, independent female lead, and cash in on the independent woman image. My best actress girlfriend, Willow, decided to make an example out of me. She live-streamed to the entire internet that I was cheating. However, what she didn't know was, the mistress who showed up at my door was actually my sister, and me. I'm the heir to a wealthy family, the mistress I supposedly keep. She's the daughter of a powerful elite family. She and I are siblings on the same household registry. So, in that secretly recorded live stream, I exposed her explosive cheating video to the world, completely and mercilessly. Chapter 1. Willow cheated on me on set. Thinking I had no idea, I pretended that I also had someone on the side. And she believed it without question. After that, she became even more shameless about flaunting her relationship with Makoto. She even showed up with him at award ceremonies. Yet publicly claimed he was just an older brother who had protected her back when she lived in an orphanage. Netizens praised Willow for being beautiful and kind. Someone who repaid kindness with gratitude. And me. I've always been labeled a freeloader. After all, compared to Willow, I lack ambition and have never won any awards. So scandals surround me, and my reputation is terrible. Recently, paparazzi exposed that I was keeping a mistress outside, and using Willow's money to do it. The internet tore me apart, calling me shameless. Some people even sent funeral wreaths with photoshopped obituaries, saying I wasn't worthy of her. Everyone online urged her to leave this trashman, and become a clear-headed, independent female lead. I didn't respond. Neither did Willow. If anything, she practically confirmed my cheating by staying silent. I know. She was the one who tipped off the paparazzi. Looks like the act I've been putting on. It's time to wrap it up. Well then, it's about time for my performance. Chapter 2. Yesterday, Willow's live stream show came to our place to film on location. I deliberately let her see the messages I sent to my so-called mistress, making her believe I planned to meet my lover here today. She accidentally left one of the show's hidden cameras in the living room. The camera was still on, and the live stream continued online, though in the living room, there was only me. The bullet comments flooded in. Whoa, what's going on? The crew forgot the camera. Georgie doesn't know he's being filmed. This is basically a hidden recording. Others commented, this is actually interesting. Celebrities are always packaged. Don't people want to see what they're really like in private? That scumbag Georgie, wasn't he cheating and still denying it? If he's got guts, he should come out and respond. Maybe we'll get some juicy dirt today and see how he talks his way out of it. More comments scrolled by. That freeloader isn't worthy of our Wiwi. Okay, Wiwi, wake up already. I didn't even need to guess what the live stream looked like right now. No one would stop this satisfying little secret broadcast. Everyone was waiting to see me make a fool of myself. Willow, too, was waiting for my affair to be exposed in front of the public. For me to lose everything and be ruined, so she could finally be with her beloved Makoto openly. Fine then, I'll give her exactly what she wants. Chapter 3. I quickly called the mistress and said, weekends are boring alone. Come keep me company, dress nicely. Yes, Willow's not home today. Don't worry, just come. After hanging up, I sent another message on WeChat. When you get here, don't call me brother. If you do, I'll tell mom you broke that box of her high-end cosmetics, you know, the one she treasures and never even uses. She replied with 3 question marks and a horrified emoji. I casually sent back a grim, ominous smile. Hasn't Willow always wanted to know who I'm keeping? Fine, I'll let her see. The camera was hidden behind the TV wall. Some distance away, it could only capture me lowering my head, idly scrolling through my phone. No one knew that I had already logged into the live stream myself, watching everything unfold. Honestly, holding back my laughter was kind of exhausting. The bullet comments exploded. What a bastard. Even cursing him is too kind. Solid proof. That scumbag is cheating. He's actually inviting his mistress over to his house openly. Does he have any shame left? What if something explosive gets caught on camera later? The viewer count has hit over 1 million. Millions of netizens here to catch him cheating live. Georgie's really going to be famous this time. More comments flooded in. This guy is seriously living off a woman while acting all high and mighty. I really don't know what best actress Willow ever saw in him. He's got no money, no ability, and is surrounded by scandals. Yet Willow never looked down on him and even treated him so well. And what about him? Just an ungrateful jerk. I've said it before, women should never try to be some virtuous wife. If you're going to be anything, be the leading lady of your own life. Another comment read, Georgie, how dare you? I seriously want to jump in there and slap him. While the internet raged and burned with indignation on Willow's behalf. Inside a nanny van, Willow herself was watching this carefully orchestrated live stream. She stared at the figure on the screen, her eyes dark and cold. Georgie, this is the price for betraying me. I'll ruin you completely. Chapter 4. Beside Willow, Makoto had his arm around her shoulders. While hiring internet trolls to flood the live stream with insults toward me, he said righteously, "After this is over, we'll make him issue a public apology. You'll break up with him, and he should be grateful for it. Otherwise, the netizens will tear him apart." Willow nodded. "Not just that. I want him to leave the entertainment industry forever, so ashamed he'll never show his face again." She added coldly, "He deserves it. Trash who cheats deserves to die." Back in the live stream, under the eager anticipation of millions of viewers, the doorbell finally rang. I didn't go open it. A moment later, a woman let herself in with a key. Slim waist, long legs, impeccably dressed. She stood with her back to the camera. The bullet comments exploded again. "She has a key. Looks like this isn't their first time. Willow is so pitiful, trusting her husband so much, and this is what she gets." Another comment questioned, "Who is that? She doesn't look like the nightclub girl people were talking about." The next one fired back, "Doesn't matter, she's definitely not a good person." Two shameless people of the same kind. The live stream audience surged wildly, hitting 5 million viewers in an instant. The bullet comments scrolled so fast, they became completely unreadable. Chapter 5. In the living room, Alicia saw me slumped weakly on the couch and, without any hesitation, came over and sat beside me. She had no idea about the camera, but she picked the perfect angle, still facing away from it. She said, "Did Willow go off again to stick herself to that little punk? She's stupid, lazy, and loves causing drama. If you ask me, she's just a delinquent girl. Honestly, she and that guy are a perfect match, both equally disgusting." Alicia had long disliked Willow, thinking she wasn't worthy of being her sister-in-law. So this wasn't an act at all. She was genuinely cursing Willow out, leaving the live stream audience completely stunned. I shifted slightly to an angle where the camera could capture me, placed my hand on her shoulder, and said in a doting tone, "Yeah, you're still the best. If only my girlfriend were half as sensible as you." Alicia looked visibly uncomfortable, as if something about my tone felt off. I sighed again and said in an extremely humble voice, "Willow's been filming out of town. She hasn't called me for months. When I call her, it's always Makoto who picks up. Once I even called in the middle of the night, and it was still him. After that, I stopped calling." The bullet comments immediately flooded in. "He's just paranoid. She only sees Makoto as a brother." Under the camera, Alicia hesitated at my unusually submissive behavior. She awkwardly patted the back of the hand I had placed on her shoulder, as if to comfort me. Then, she went completely unhinged and started viciously cursing Willow and Makoto again. She was so ruthless that I almost burst out laughing inside. But her words enraged Willow's fans, who lashed out at her, calling this mistress low-class and saying she was perfectly matched with a shameless man like me. I held back my laughter, while on the surface acting like a humble, love-struck simp, sighing as I defended Willow. Maybe she has her own difficulties, even though she never wears the necklaces or earrings I buy her. I paused for a moment and continued, "She really likes the padded bra inserts Makoto gave her. She wears them every day. Honestly, with her, I sometimes can't even tell front from back. What can you do?" That single sentence stunned the entire internet into silence. The live stream froze for a moment before comments slowly reappeared. "Can't tell front from back. What the hell?" Not very damaging, but extremely insulting. I was wondering why Willow suddenly started showing off her figure so much lately. Turns out it's fake. This is basically fatal to her image. Ha ha ha. This is ridiculous. I came to watch Georgie cheating, not to watch Willow get roasted. Wait, doesn't anyone think this is weird? What kind of guy gives stuff like that to someone else's girlfriend? But others argued, "My best male friend gives me intimate products all the time. I think it's fine. People with dirty minds see everything as dirty." Another comment followed. "Exactly. Makoto really understands her. Such thoughtful gifts." While the entire internet was laughing at Willow, Alicia thought I had completely lost my mind. Afraid I was too deeply in love with Willow to wake up, she hurriedly tried to snap me out of it. "That pretentious coquette, I mean Willow, didn't she give you the silent treatment and then play innocent online? Deliberately letting her fans cyberbully you? Have you forgotten? And all those expensive gifts you gave her, what has she ever given you in return? She's just using you as an ATM." I immediately refuted her. "I won't let you talk about Willow like that. Listen to me, she's not that kind of person. She gave me a scarf." Alicia looked utterly disgusted. "I already checked, it wasn't even handmade by her. She bought it for $20 on a secondhand site, and you treasure it like it's priceless. Can you wake up already? Stop being a simp. Do you really lack scarves that much? If you need one, don't buy her anything anymore, just transfer the money to me. I'll knit you one every day. Wake up. Stop digging for a girlfriend in the trash." "Okay." Under Alicia's hopeful gaze, waiting for me to come to my senses, I looked at her pitifully, nodded, and said with deep affection, "But Willow said a real man shouldn't care about these things. Once you give something, You shouldn't expect anything in return. What matters is the feeling, not the price. Only stingy men keep score. She also said that any man who insists on fairness in a relationship doesn't truly love you. Alicia was completely speechless. She fell silent for a long time, probably having an emotional breakdown. She ruffled her hair irritably, then suddenly froze and said, "Wait, is she mentally ill or something?" In the live stream, Alicia's hysterical scream rang out. "What kind of trash scarf is that? Tell her to get lost. Alicia, have never seen such a shameless woman in my life. You'd be better off with literally anyone else. How about I introduce you to a few of my friends instead?" Chapter 6. The bullet comments exploded again. What kind of narcissistic logic is that? Men who care about fairness don't love you. If I were Georgie, I'd cheat too. So hypocritical. It's about feelings, not price. If someone actually gave her a $20 gift, she'd definitely be unhappy. Others argued back. "Oh please, you actually believe him? He's obviously feeding the mistress sweet lies. Willow is a Best Actress winner, and Georgie's just a nobody. Where would he even get money to buy her gifts? Let's be real, guys like him live off their girlfriends. He probably uses Willow's money to buy things for her. And this mistress is trying everything to climb up the ladder. Honestly, he's probably using Willow's money to keep her." More comments followed. "This mistress is seriously weird. Being the side piece isn't enough, she's even trying to introduce more mistresses." Another chimed in. "Exactly. What nonsense is she even talking about? What's it got to do with her? Our Willow is a newly crowned Best Actress. Who does she think she is?" Then suddenly, someone noticed something. "Wait, did I hear that right? Did she just say Alicia? Is that the Alicia from the Wong family?" At that exact moment, the woman in the frame turned around. A striking, radiant face appeared on camera. The internet exploded. Even Willow froze, staring at the screen in shock. The comments went wild. "AHHH kill me, my young and gorgeous Miss Wong. That face is prettier than celebrities, that body hotter than supermodels. How did she end up with Georgie of all people? I have to admit, she's way more impressive than Willow. That's a top-tier rich heiress, Alicia, the daughter of the powerful Wong family in a city. Not just the entertainment industry, even the business world wouldn't dare offend her. She was also notorious for her explosive temper. Once, someone casually remarked that her brother never showed his face and might be an illegitimate child. She immediately flipped out and splashed a drink on them. Afterward, the Wong family directly uprooted that so-called richest man who had just established himself in a city, completely wiping him out. So in a city, if you wanted to survive, the number one rule was, never offend Miss Wong. The comments kept rolling. "I get it now. Georgie has taken living off women to a whole new level. He didn't keep a mistress, he's the one being kept by a rich woman." Another comment countered. The internet really is full of shallow people. So what if she's rich? Does having money mean she can steal someone else's boyfriend? Does it give her the right to trample on a good actress's dignity? And no matter who the mistress is, it doesn't change the fact that Georgie cheated. He's still a scumbag. Impossible. How could it be Alicia? How could she possibly be interested in Georgie? Makoto stared at the live stream, his fingers clenching so hard they nearly broke. He had never expected that Georgie would be capable of this, that the person he was involved with was actually the daughter of the Wong family, and that was the Wong family. With that kind of backing, there was almost nothing you couldn't accomplish. Chapter 7. Willow said indignantly. "Well done, Georgie. You've really outdone yourself this time. No wonder you've been acting so bold. I never imagined you'd end up as some rich woman's boy toy." She was trembling with anger, an inexplicable sense of frustration choking her chest. Biting her lip, she continued. "It doesn't matter. With so many people watching, even the Wong family can't silence the public. Netizens hold a lot of power now. No matter who Georgie's mistress is, he'll be torn apart for cheating." Makoto nodded. "Besides, isn't Alicia already engaged? If I remember correctly, her fiancé isn't someone to mess with either. Georgie is basically putting a cheating scandal on him in public. Who could tolerate that?" The bullet comments exploded again. "Alicia got engaged last year. And they're childhood sweethearts with a strong relationship. Her fiancé is David Chan, heir to the Chan family, equal in status and famously ruthless. If President Chan finds out, won't he crush Georgie? He's finished. Just waiting for the show to begin. Everyone go call President Chan to catch them in the act. I want to see how this scumbag Georgie gets out of this." Many netizens rushed to social media, frantically tagging Alicia's fiancé to come catch the cheating. the live stream's popularity skyrocketed again, approaching 10 million viewers. It shot straight to trending, drawing in even more onlookers. Even people who didn't usually follow entertainment news clicked in, just to see what the commotion was about. Willow had just won Best Actress, and with her good looks and carefully crafted image as a devoted, virtuous partner. Not only her female fans, but many men as well began defending her in the comments. Just a random passerby, but someone like Georgie should have been cancelled long ago. He doesn't know how to cherish such a good girlfriend, and still complains she doesn't call him. When Willow got injured filming, it was Makoto who took her to the hospital. Where was Georgie when she needed him most? Probably busy flirting with other women. Another comment read, "Georgie is just some nobody actor, he was never worthy of my idol." Thankfully Willow just won an award. After dumping this trash, she can shine on her own. Willow, the light hidden under the perfect wife persona. She's the true powerful female lead of a feel-good story. In the living room, I used Alicia's position to block the camera slightly, quietly watching the scrolling comments in the live stream. Willow must be feeling incredibly proud seeing all this praise. Ever since winning that award, being admired by millions, she'd been holding her head higher than ever in public. Did she really think she was untouchable now? Fine. Today, I'll show her exactly what she is. Best Actress. What a joke. Chapter 8. I coughed twice, stuffed my phone into the gap of the sofa, then turned around and looked at Alicia with deep affection in my eyes. Alicia froze instantly. I could clearly see the chill in her expression. After all, whenever we were together, we were always bickering and talking trash. When had she ever seen me like this? I shot her an annoyed glare. She shuddered from my look, but still stubbornly insisted. I still don't approve of you two being together. And you even invested in her movie. What a waste of money. I pressed my forehead. Great, she just spilled everything. The live stream immediately exploded into mockery. I'm dying of laughter. What kind of nonsense has this guy been feeding Miss Wong normally? Where did he get money to invest in a film? Selling ass. Another comment followed. Who does Georgie think he is? Acting like a big shot. If Willow hadn't starred in that movie, it would have flopped for sure. Some others said, but don't forget this is a hidden live stream. Yeah, it's a bit unethical, but they probably aren't lying. More chimed in. Honestly, Willow fans need to stop pretending. Her acting is just average. Without a strong production, she wouldn't have won anything. Finally, among the flood of comments, I spotted a loyal hater of mine. False supporters are born at the peak, true believers show up at the downfall. Only we haters are allowed to criticize God. You outsiders don't get that privilege. Another one added. I've been hating on God for 5 years. I've hated him so much I actually like him now. You think we'd let him fall? No way. The live stream had turned into complete chaos, while Alicia was still fuming beside me. I was about to give Willow a gift. Wasn't she getting carried away by her fans' praise? Then I'd make her fall, hard, from the highest place. While Alicia wasn't paying attention, I quietly pushed the glass ornament on the coffee table off the edge, into a blind spot the camera couldn't catch. Crash! It shattered all over the floor. Alicia immediately stood up to clean the broken glass, but I quickly stopped her. Don't. Sit down, you might cut your hand. This isn't your job. A comment appeared. What's going on? God seems kind of doting. Another instantly replied. What's wrong with your morals? No matter how doting he is, he's still cheating. Shameless couple, go to hell. Alicia still insisted on helping, so I asked her to hand me the trash can, and then, accidentally, dropped it. Everything inside spilled onto the floor. Alicia rolled her eyes, snatched the broom, and started cleaning it up herself, grumbling. I watched her back with a smile, a quiet thought crossing my mind. Knocking over the trash can was intentional. My goal had already been achieved. Among the things that fell out were simple but telling. A delicate palm-sized cake. And a doll modeled after Willow. All of it, perfectly captured by the camera. These were gifts from fans, handmade with care and sincerity. Just yesterday, Willow had live-streamed in this very living room, unboxing them and claiming she treasured them deeply. And now, they were in the trash. The meaning couldn't be clearer. The doll lay by my feet. I picked it up, dusted it off, and said, Willow never really cares about fan gifts. She says they're cheap and low quality. Usually she just poses with them for photos, posts online to move her fans, and then throws them away. Kind of a pity. Alicia let out a cold snort. You're only realizing that now. From this alone, you can tell she's not a good person. I said nothing, just stared at the doll in my hand and sighed. In the live stream, Willow's fans completely broke down. Most of her fan base had only gathered recently because of her movie. Now, seeing this scene, their loyalty shattered instantly. People began unfollowing her en masse, criticizing her fiercely, their posts flooding social media like artillery fire, because when fan communities turn against someone, their backlash is terrifying. Chapter 9. Willow's reputation collapsed across the entire internet in an instant. Scandals surfaced one after another, like bamboo shoots after rain. Watching the live stream on her end, Willow panicked. She clearly remembered ordering someone to throw those items away yesterday. So why were they in the living room trash can? But she had no time to think about it. Under the overwhelming backlash from netizens, she quickly went live to apologize and explain. She claimed the cake had gone bad, said she didn't know who threw the gifts away, and pushed all the blame onto the staff. This kind of tactic was common in the entertainment industry. So aside from a few irrational fans still defending her, almost no one believed her anymore. Most mocked her for acting like a big shot despite being barely famous, for lacking professionalism and basic decency, collapsing before she even truly made it big. Overwhelmed by criticism, Willow ended her stream in humiliation. But the moment her live stream ended, mine exploded into an even bigger frenzy. The number of viewers skyrocketed again, because, after finishing cleaning up, Alicia saw me still holding the Willow doll. She thought I was hopelessly in love, so attached that I even cherished a doll because it resembled her. Alicia had a "what on earth can I do with you" look on her face, suffering on behalf of her hopeless simp of a brother. Continued trying to wake me up. Her tone turned sharp and sarcastic. Willow is basically a trash bag, she only knows how to put on an act. And that, Makoto is my brother, nonsense. I didn't even hear something that disgusting back in middle school. Does she seriously think everyone else is stupid and she's the only smart one? And another thing, I'm not lying to you. I've seen her and Makoto kissing multiple times. Disgusting. On set, in elevators, in parking garages. I've even got a whole stack of photos of her cheating. If you want, I'll bring them to you right away. I felt slightly nauseous and quickly waved my hand. No need. That's disgusting. At the same time, the live stream audience was hit with this bombshell. And then hit again. Breaking news. Willow cheated too. No justice from heaven. Good thing Miss Wong stepped in. I've long been disgusted by those two acting like they're in heat all the time. Others commented, honestly, anyone could tell Willow and Makoto weren't innocent. Everyone already knew about their little affair, they just thought they were clever, hiding behind the brother-sister excuse. What kind of siblings sleep together? Otherwise, why would Makoto be the one answering her boyfriend's late-night calls? In my opinion, Willow is the real trash. Sure, Georgie's reputation is bad now, but when they first got together, he was way more famous than her. She only became known because she was his girlfriend. And now she turns around and calls him a freeloader. She's the real ungrateful one. Seeing things spiral completely out of control, Willow's agency immediately called her, demanding she clarify everything at once. Willow panicked. She had worked so hard to reach where she was today. How could she let it all be destroyed by this? So she quickly recorded a video and posted it on social media. I need to clarify something. Makoto and I are completely innocent. I've said before that I only see him as a brother. We grew up together in an orphanage. Most people wouldn't understand that kind of bond. If anyone continues to spread rumors, you'll be hearing from my lawyers. And at this point, I have no choice but to say this. My boyfriend really did cheat. I only stayed silent to preserve his dignity. He's been cheating for nearly half a year. I waited for him to admit it himself, which is why I gave him the cold shoulder. But instead, he twisted it into emotional abuse. Miss Wong is probably a victim too, deceived by this scumbag. Honestly, I realized long ago that he wasn't a good person. He would often go to drinking parties late at night and not come home. We argued about it. I think that's when he started cheating. Chapter 10. Willow tried to smear me, thinking she could cover up her own cheating. But soon enough, people online exposed that Willow and Makoto weren't even from the same orphanage. Their so-called childhood connection was completely fabricated. Netizens, as always, worked fast. Before long, footage of the two checking into hotels surfaced. Even the luxury watch Makoto showed off on his birthday was traced back to Willow. Her purchase records were found online. The comments flooded in. Georgie bought her so many things, and she gave him a scarf worth barely $20. But for Makoto, she buys a luxury watch, and she dares to say a boyfriend should give without expecting anything in return, and that talking about fairness means you don't love her. Shameless much. Another comment read, I couldn't tolerate my girlfriend clinging to a brother with no blood relation every day. A woman like that is not clean. She keeps saying Georgie cheated. Where's her evidence? These comments completely broke Willow's composure. No matter how much she tried to explain, no one believed her anymore. Cornered and unable to defend herself, She went live again and claimed that I cheated first, that she was heartbroken, and Makoto comforted her, which led to them accidentally developing feelings. She essentially admitted their relationship, but twisted the story to beautify her betrayal, implying everything was my fault. Some viewers mocked her. Wow, you must have been really heartbroken, Makoto comforting you in your room every day. Huh? Others defended her, but the fact is, Georgie cheated first. He had it coming. If you don't treat your girlfriend well, someone else will. What did Willow do wrong? Another replied. Who cheated first is still unclear. I think Willow is full of schemes. There's not a single truthful word from her. Willow continued. What I'm saying is true. I was devastated. That's why things happened with Makoto. Because that day, I overheard Georgie telling someone that his girlfriend was pregnant, and he needed to take responsibility. But the girlfriend he mentioned wasn't me. The live stream exploded again. Another massive bombshell. The Wang family's heiress got pregnant with her lover's child before marriage. Someone quickly replied, you can't just say things like that. That's the Wang family we're talking about. Watching the comments spiral, Willow put on a pained expression, as if forced into a corner. I have proof. Her proof was a phone recording, clearly capturing me saying that my girlfriend was pregnant. On top of that, she showed a photo of a prenatal checkup report, indicating that the woman was already over 2 months pregnant. What she didn't know was, I had deliberately let her find those things. The name on the report had already been cropped out by me. Because of this evidence, millions of netizens began attacking me, accusing me of scheming against a wealthy woman and getting her pregnant. Public outrage surged. The live stream and forums exploded in popularity, and I shot back onto trending topics again. Georgie traps woman into pregnancy, a romance scam even worse than pig butchering schemes. And just like that, public opinion flipped. People stopped criticizing Willow. So what if Willow fell for Makoto later? He's way better than a two-timing scumbag like Georgie. Georgie brought this on himself by hurting her. Willow is a victim too. She gave her heart to a scumbag and still gets attacked. I feel so bad for her. I support Willow and Makoto being together. They're the real love story. Another comment read, what else could Willow do? If a woman admits she's with someone else, she gets torn apart by society. This world is basically one giant double standard. When men cheat, it's seen as normal and forgivable. As long as they apologize, they can always turn over a new leaf. But if a woman does the same, she's condemned by everyone. Being a woman is just too hard. Someone else added, Miss Alicia should wake up too. Cheating is wrong. But I'm sure you were deceived by that scumbag too. You're also a victim. I believe President Chan will forgive you. Another comment read, I can't take this anymore. Willow, go catch him in the act. I'm waiting in this live stream to see you tear that scumbag apart. Chapter 11. I found a blind spot where the camera couldn't see me and secretly scrolled through my phone, watching the live stream. Soon, I saw netizens saying that Willow had posted an update. She was already on her way back. At the end, she even added that this matter should be made known to Alicia's fiancé. Looks like she had already contacted David. In the live stream, although a small number of people were speaking up for me, Willow's hardcore fans were too aggressive. Combined with hired trolls, they attacked anyone in sight. Ordinary viewers couldn't stand a chance. The comments were now flooded with, catch them in the act. This is so satisfying. Just as I was enjoying the show, Alicia beside me started trying to persuade me again. I don't even want to see those two anymore. You should dump Willow and come home with me. I casually asked. Go home for what? She replied. To inherit billions, obviously. Just stop being with a trashy woman. Then, ignoring everything else, she said with a slightly aggrieved tone. Actually, I overheard your call with Dad last time. He thinks Willow is a terrible person and wanted to blacklist her. But you refused. So you lied and said she was pregnant with your child, but she doesn't deserve you. Brother, come home. You're my only brother. I can't just watch you get deceived by a bad woman. She continued. If Willow were a decent person and genuinely loved you, even if she were a bit materialistic, I wouldn't say anything. But she's way too shameless. What gives her the right to treat you like that? Honestly, Mom and Dad have always strongly opposed your relationship with Willow. But you're too stubborn, and they were afraid pushing too hard would backfire, so they sent me instead. They said you've always doted on me since we were little. You wouldn't bear to get angry at me. I pulled Alicia closer, patted her shoulder, and reassured her. I know. Don't worry, your brother isn't that foolish. At that moment, the viewers who had been ready to attack me were completely thrown into chaos. Dad? Who's Dad? What kind of insane plot twist is this? My brain is overheating. What did Miss Wang just call Georgie? Brother? Did I hear that right? Is it what I think it is? Another comment appeared. People have dug into Georgie's background before. It's not simple. Back when he was still unknown, he showed up at a charity gala driving a multi-million luxury car. He never explained it, so people assumed it was rented. The crowd of onlookers was stunned. If I remember correctly, Miss Wang's brother is called George Wang. So Georgie is actually a wealthy heir. Forgive me for not recognizing greatness. So Georgie is actually George. Oh my god, they're literally siblings on the same household registry. So how could he possibly be cheating with Alicia? That means he really did invest in the movie. Willow, how did you even deserve this kind of fortune? Chapter 12. By this point, the live stream's popularity had already surpassed 10 million. Tens of millions of viewers were online at the same time. And the bullet comments were scrolling so fast it felt like sparks might fly any second. Willow's fans no longer dared to speak. Instead, neutral viewers flooded the comments, completely taking over. Well damn, turns out I'm the clown. Been watching all this to catch a cheater, and the real cheating couple is still on their way here. Willow cheated with Makoto and even falsely accused Georgie of cheating. Too bad, given his background. There's no way he'd do something like that. Another comment said, I've seen this kind of scheme plenty of times. I bet she deliberately left the camera in the living room, trying to catch Georgie cheating, then come out playing the victim to rebrand herself as a strong independent woman. Another one followed. Willow still doesn't know the truth yet. She's probably rushing over here full of confidence to catch him in the act. Can't wait to see her face when she finds out. Wang young master, please slap that cheating woman hard. Soon enough, Willow really did arrive with Makoto. The two of them rushed in excitedly, even deliberately choosing an angle that would be best captured by the camera. The moment Willow stepped in, she started accusing me. Georgie, why did you betray me? If you fell for someone else, you could have just told me. I wouldn't have clung to you. Why did you have to do this? Besides, Miss Wang already has a fiancé. Georgie, I finally see you clearly now. Your heart is filthy. Alicia, with her explosive temper, instantly lost it when she saw Willow and stood up, ready to slap her. Fortunately, I pulled her back at the last second, signaling that I would handle this myself. I sat on the sofa with my arms crossed, looked at Willow, and said disdainfully, my heart is filthy. At least it's cleaner than the garbage that comes out of your mouth. Willow's face turned livid at my words. She glanced at Alicia, who was casually scrolling through her phone and saying nothing. Then continued, stop pretending. You knew she had a fiancé, and you still got her pregnant. Isn't that filthy enough? I frowned. Who did I get pregnant? Do you dare take responsibility for what you're saying? Do you have any evidence? I stared at her. Spreading rumors like that can land you in prison. She replied, Alicia is pregnant with your child. Do I really have to spell it out? Let's break up. Georgie, I can't accept someone like you. Makoto stood beside Willow, putting on a righteous, reasonable front as he said, Georgie, this watch was originally a birthday gift Willow picked out for you a few days ago. But after she saw you with Miss Wang, she gave it to me instead. I glanced at him with contempt and said, if you like it, just keep it. Aren't you used to picking up things other people throw away? Some people really have strange tastes, like dung beetles rolling dung around. And then there are people like you, who specifically go for the smelliest pile. Chapter 13. Willow was completely enraged by me. Georgie. At that moment, the doorbell rang. A flash of excitement lit up in Makoto's furious eyes. It had to be David. He hurried over to open the door, eager to welcome him. Meanwhile, the live stream audience was buzzing. Still acting. If young Master Wang even looked at you, that'd already be your blessing. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. President Chan has plenty of ways to deal with people. That's his fiancée. After being humiliated like this by that shameless Willow, he's probably already figured out how to destroy her. More comments rolled in. Willow's acting is pretty good right now. Funny how she cheats without any guilt though. Look at Makoto's face. He's practically grinning like his scheme worked. So obvious. I don't even dare imagine what's about to happen when that door opens. Someone please end these two for my entertainment. At the doorway, Makoto opened the door, his face full of ingratiating smiles as he looked at David standing outside. He thought to himself, Georgie, you're finished. Daring to cuckold young Master Chan. Even if you don't die today, you'll be crippled. Makoto spoke respectfully. You must be President Chan. Miss Wang is inside. But the next second, good dogs don't block the way. Do you not even have the awareness of being a dog? David didn't even bother looking at him. Wasn't someone calling me here to catch a cheater? Where is it? You. Then hurry up and take me there. Given Makoto's status, he had never even been qualified to meet the heir of the Chan family. He was instantly overwhelmed by David's presence, trembling slightly. And not me, inside, he stammered, quickly stepping aside and following behind David into the living room. David had clearly come to catch cheating, his stride full of aggression, but the moment he saw me sitting on the sofa, he froze, as if his brain hadn't caught up yet. Makoto, standing nearby, couldn't help himself. President Chan, you must already know, Alicia is pregnant with Georgie's child. He glanced at Alicia, then hurriedly added, but Miss Wang must also be a victim. She must have been deceived by Georgie. You may not know this, But Georgie has a history. There were rumors before that he got female fans drunk and took them to hotels. So I suspect he drugged Miss Wong. She was probably forced into this pregnancy. You really should investigate him. People like him specialize in these disgusting methods. David turned his head and looked at Makoto like he was watching a clown. Do you even hear the garbage coming out of your mouth? Sounds like you're the one who's done this kind of thing before. Willow stepped forward, forcing herself to speak. President Chan, what Makoto said is true. Oh, I know you. Willow was startled. President Chan actually recognized her. But before she could feel pleased, David pointed at her and Makoto and said coldly, adulterers, a pair of shameless trash. Makoto hurriedly tried to explain. No, President Chan, you've misunderstood. It's really Georgie who. Before he could finish, smack, smack. David swung his hand and slapped him twice, loud and sharp. Shut up. What kind of idiot are you? Makoto clenched his teeth in humiliation, just about to turn toward the hidden camera and play the victim, when he saw David walk over and sit down beside me, smiling in a strangely flattering way, and calling out, brother. Chapter 14. Seeing Makoto completely stunned, I spoke up, surprised. I'm Alicia's brother, biological brother. Impossible. How is that possible? Makoto lunged at me like he'd gone mad. But David casually threw him to the ground. Even lying there, he kept rambling in disbelief, muttering over and over that it couldn't be true. Willow was even more shaken, unable to process it. Georgie, what kind of madness are you playing at now? I let out a cold laugh and said nothing. Soon enough, they had no choice but to accept the truth. Willow's face turned pale. She immediately switched her attitude and said, Georgie, this must all be a misunderstanding. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you and Alicia. Since you're siblings, then everything's fine. I was just confused for a moment. It's only because I love you too much. Please don't be angry with me. Okay. Makoto quickly chimed in. Yeah, exactly, bro. Willow and I are completely innocent. The one she loves is you. This is all just a misunderstanding. I shrugged. My situation was a misunderstanding, but you and Willow, definitely not. You think I don't know when you started cheating? Willow. When you two go out of town for filming, you share the same bed at night, brotherly during the day, lover-like at night, and your clingy behavior on set disgusts everyone in the crew. Since when do siblings share the same milk tea, or get so into kiss scenes that people can't even pull them apart? Willow's eyes turned red as she tried to deny it. No, Georgie, those are just rumors, all fabricated by gossip accounts. You know me, I would never betray you. She looked on the verge of tears. I was already annoyed. Without another word, I threw a hospital report straight at her tear-streaked face. Enough with the act. You're already pregnant with Makoto's child. What are you still pretending for? She froze. Snatching the report, she looked at the name column. Her own name was clearly written there. She muttered in disbelief. How is this possible? This can't be. I smiled. Remember a month ago, when your cycle was irregular and you went for a checkup? You were acting nervous back then. I found it suspicious, so I had someone look into it and made a few adjustments. This is the real result. I looked at her coldly and said, Willow, someone like you, I've never thought much of you. You're not worthy of me. But you and Makoto, perfect match. After all, trash belongs with trash. Chapter 15. All those years of acting weren't for nothing. Willow's tears came instantly, as if on cue. Crying bitterly, she began confessing that she was just momentarily confused, begging me to forgive her. She even tried to kneel down in front of me. But this time, Makoto stepped in to protect her, pulling her up and holding her in his arms as he said, Georgie, don't abuse your power to bully others. If Willow ended up with me, that's because of you. You were the one who made her take that film, so what right do you have to blame her now? If anything, you should blame yourself. If she doesn't love you anymore, then she doesn't. What's the point of clinging to her and humiliating her? It'll only make her hate you more. Willow, looking pitiful and tearful, leaned into Makoto's arms, yet her eyes sparkled strangely as she said, Makoto, I knew your feelings for me were real. I'll keep our child. Even if I get blacklisted, I'm willing to stay with you. I'd even live in poverty with you if I have to. I almost laughed out of anger. Where did she get the confidence to say something like that? Did she have any shame left? I shrugged and said casually, actually, you might want to think positively. Maybe the child isn't Makoto's. Willow looked at me with disgust. If it's not his, then what? Yours. Georgie, you're honestly disgusting. I sighed and tossed my phone to her. Take a good look yourself. On the phone were videos of Makoto getting Willow drunk, taking her to a hotel, and then letting different men enter the room one after another. After watching it, Willow collapsed onto the floor like a pile of mud. The way she looked at Makoto now, she wanted to kill him. Makoto dropped the act completely, going all in with brutal honesty. You think I'd be willing to live in poverty? Let me tell you the truth. Why do you think I got close to you? 4 resources, 4 connections, 4 stepping stones. Did you seriously think I'd marry you? You cheated on Georgie. What makes you think you wouldn't cheat on me too? Who would want someone like you? The two of them turned on each other like animals, forgetting they were still in a live stream. Willow rushed forward and slapped Makoto repeatedly, screaming that he was a bastard. They started fighting right there in the living room. Makoto no longer showed any restraint. He hit back just as viciously, until finally, blood began to pool beneath Willow. Only then did Makoto stop. Willow lay motionless on the ground, as if lifeless. Makoto, too, was bruised and scratched, his face a mess. At last, the farce came to an end, and the live stream finally ended as well. This time, the entire internet saw their true, ugly faces. Both of them were reported and banned across all platforms. After that, Makoto was arrested and imprisoned. The businessmen he had worked with, the ones involved in his schemes, none of them escaped either. As for Willow, her Best Actress title was revoked, along with all her awards and honors, and due to defamation and false accusations, she ended up behind bars as well. Later, rumors spread online that after her release, she ended up working in a club, washing customers' feet, once standing at the peak, surrounded by glamour, now fallen into the mud. The rest of her life would only be filled with hardship. As for that Best Actress award, I was the one who gave it to her in the first place, because I wanted her to climb as high as possible, just so I could watch her fall and shatter completely.